y'all. I'm gonna put on a little music here. A little music. Who knows how long I'll have with you to jam out. Let's talk about Camp Connected, shall we? I'm gonna start with a nice big breath in, and I'm gonna let it go. I know when I get home from a retreat, life feels like it kind of just smacks me in the face, and that is what's happening this time, probably because I'm leaving in like 8 days for another retreat. But I gotta share. I just gotta share. So thank you for being here. It was a really incredible weekend. 33 women and 2 babies, one of them being my baby. We met in the mountain countryside south of Moab, Utah for 4 days and 3 nights of intentional gathering, workshops, transformation, and yeah, it was palpable how much was experienced and let go of and felt inside of that time that we spent together. So, I want to just speak to a few things that I witnessed, a few things that I noticed. This was my 43rd retreat to facilitate and host, and one of the biggest. Last year may have been a little bit bigger. I don't remember. But it was cool. It was cool because the tools work. The tools of giving women space to press pause on their life and reflect on their life and contemplate on what is ready to be released and healed and let go of. And then setting up a protected space that allows for that to happen. It works. It works. And, in my almost a decade of walking this path, I've witnessed women elevate themselves out of some very disempowering realities that they were living in. And I know now what it takes. I know now that it's not my responsibility to deliver that to everyone, and I know that I wouldn't want to. And so one huge notice, I have 3 to 4 notices that I want to share, but one huge notice right off the jump was that, as I'm willing to take even more responsibility of myself and what I can actually offer and what is my job, that it gives the women in attendance even more of an opportunity to do that for themselves. And this is the way we want transformation to happen. We don't want transformation to happen from a place of relying on someone else to deliver something. We want to know that we can achieve that internally just by showing up even inside of environments that may trigger us or may bring up uncomfortable truths inside of us. The question becomes, can we be loved through that? And this unconditional love is a practice. And it's a practice that we have to first cultivate. So I got to see that this weekend. I got to see all of these women just step forth and say, all right, I am willing. I may be a little scared, but I am willing to change my own life. And what a fucking gift that is to be able to witness and be a part of. And, I'm a little tired. And my own lessons that came from it were pretty profound. One of them being, I was so supported that weekend, so supported this weekend, and just the flow and everybody stepping up and leading when it was time for them to lead. Having a toddler and trying to host a retreat. That's a special kind of hard, but Cairo will not be coming to all of the retreats moving forward, and I think that's probably good for both of us for a little while. Well, he is so damn cute and magical. It also makes it so that my time, with the women is a little limited. So I also learned a lot in the financial piece of running a retreat this big and the large expenses and paying for people to fly and all of that. The numbers are not my favorite. They're not my strength or my strong point. And that's why I was just shown by basically making no money off of doing any of this, that, support in that area next year through my partner in Shine, Linda Dukes, is definitely needed, because I do believe that space holders deserve to be, compensated for their time, especially when they're being of assistance and they're offering their hundreds of thousands of hours of training and expertise to be of service, and showing up inside of spaces where that's not happening for me. It's a special kind of internal work that I have to do. But luckily, I am aware enough to know how it's all contributing to the result, so I know why it happened that way. And so I'm just going to do better next year. But on that same note, you really saw at this retreat, we really saw this sacred economy and ecosystem being developed. We had women with all types of gifts bringing different things forward, whether it was photo shoots or pottery or essential oils or massage, or there were so many ways for women to be both in giving and receiving. And so it wasn't just me offering only my things. I open it up to anyone in attendance, especially leadership, speaking to and bringing things that can be of assistance, that can also cycle some abundance. And that felt really good, having our little market set up with all sorts of wellness goodies. The other thing is I got to witness so many women just through the saying yes, just let go of expiring beliefs, expiring ways in which they had been seeing themselves or their purpose or their relationships, and start to step into new ways of seeing those things. And that's alchemical, because our beliefs are what keep us in the same patterns. Our beliefs are what keep us in our patterns. And so when we talk about breaking patterns, we're talking about changing lives. We're talking about changing the trajectory of our lineage by creating different results inside of our lives. And so we were extra mindful of the energetic architecture that was placed inside of the space where the deep work was taking place. So, the first night we get there, it's a lot of setting intentions. We were silly right off the jump, which I loved it. And I was so grateful that the women were open to me being just my ridiculous ass self, alongside speaking to the hard shit. Because I think that's a big benchmark of what I'm here to speak to lately, is duality. Day one, the first full day, is the deep work day. So, these ladies are doing vulnerability work and trauma release and breath work and yoga and a workshop where we went super deep. So they were really getting it, right? And so inside of that getting it, when they're releasing this stuck and stored energy and beliefs that have been in the body, a certain level of care has to be taken. And I think we set it up with the help of a new wizard that we're working with, and you'll get a full introduction to her soon. but with her help, we were able to just set up this very protected and integrity-filled healing space. And yeah, that's where, the women will feel a palpable change in themselves. And I know I felt it. It was just a huge love bubble. And day 2 was the deep play day. We had a fun circle, just played super fun games. Just this energy of celebration. And I'll come back for another podcast because I want to get a few of the leadership gals on to tell you what happened on our hike. Because I was not there for this, what I want to speak to. So I'm not going to speak to it. But again, these retreats they give us so many opportunities to ask ourselves, am I willing to push beyond what has been comfortable for me for maybe my whole entire life? And when you can just rub up against that edge and get to know your own edges and get to know maybe where you're limiting yourself or where you're playing small, you witness your own growth and you catalyze your own growth. And that means that I don't have to do it. You get to do it. I'm just here to be on my own path, right? Just like all the other leaders there. So this letting go that was witnessed, just deep bows to that. And the last thing, there was just an immense amount of trusting the flow for me, just trusting the way things were going, trusting the amount of women who were going to be there, the way the numbers were working, the way the schedule needed to shift. At times, just like life, giving me these opportunities to lean in and say, all right, how it is unfolding, I get to choose to believe that it's for the highest good. And what I can control is how I'm responding to it and what I'm making things mean. So there were several opportunities throughout the weekend to be careful to not take certain things personally, to be a witness to my own internal dialogue, and to know that hopefully nobody expects me to be perfect. I certainly hope not, because I don't expect that from them. And so when my perfectionism started coming out and I'm like thinking I need to be doing something better or perfect, it was a great opportunity for me to practice self-grace and compassion, to take responsibility for how things were unfolding, and to also, again, just set that example that it's okay for us to not be perfect, because inside of that imperfection, that duality, that spectrum of light and dark and up and down and high and low, that's where our humanity lives. And so you ain't ever going to find me being this holier than thou, you better rise up to meet me type of space holder. You will find me exactly where I am in my journey, with as much language as I can give certain things, and with the knowing that the greatest gift I give anybody that I sit with is just space. And really it's silence. And it's unconditional love. And that's what I continue to work on cultivating within myself. And I just sit this week, this integration week, where life be happening. Bam, you get home and it all keeps rolling, doesn't it? So there remains this daily invitation to just learn how to be with all parts of ourselves and our lives and this reality, especially now, because it's wild out here. We are alive during some incredible times. And so my hope remains that you continue to lean in to your own practices, to your own inner knowing, that you will gift yourself the experience of a of a retreat at some point. It does not have to be with me, but that you will be open to the tangible magic that can be felt in these times when we're together. I thank you. I'm going to go fold some laundry, and we're leaving next week for Ireland. It's so exciting. Oh, so many cool things coming, so many cool things here, and onwards we go. Let's take a big breath in, and let's let it go.